It was just like playing in my head, like,
Thank you.
don't laugh.
It's Lil Shorty month. This week, Jori reads you a story where a self-proclaimed old man journeys solo to the beautiful Yosemite National Park and stumbles upon some wild behavior from the local townsfolk. A stone's throw away from the majestic sights, this old man may have just reached his final destination.
We'd like to remind you that all episodes of Art of the Short contain explicit content and that a link to this week's short story will be provided in the show notes just for you.
Art of the Short is an interactive literary art installation. Our Lil Shorty episodes feature the not-so-known storytellers, where Jori and Bethers read a story by you. Yep, a short story written by you, and, of course, we'll make art of our interpretations.
Join the conversation and send us your artwork to add to the gallery. To learn how, go to artoftheshort.com and follow the installation on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Art of the Short to see what others think of this short story through their art. I almost called you like 3 or 4 different times.
Because of the bear art?
Yeah, because I was just like, are you fucking making a bear? Like, are you making a bear? What are you doing? Like, I was
Are you fucking making a bear?
really needed to know what was going on. Like, I just felt like I can't just go blind to the... We can't just show up with 2 bears. Like, like, I was so stressed. I really almost called you.
Oh, shit. I have to say, I took a little inspiration from Tommy Lee Jones.
Oh, my.
And that's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say.
I don't want to be presumptuous, but...
Yes.
I feel like we might have a big merch day.
Yes. I mean, it's a West Coast vibe.
No, mine's a national vibe. Oh, that's a wink.
Okay.
You don't know yet.
I don't know yet, but I'm excited to see it. If you could see Bethany's face right now while she is singing that song.
That's like a yacht rock take.
Oh my God. Her face looks like it's not moving. However, the sound is coming out. It's like a ventriloquist singer. I don't know. This week's short story is by Shayne Terry. Born and raised in Northern Illinois, Terry's fiction has appeared in American Cordata, Volume 1 Brooklyn, Craft, and a lot of other places. She's very talented. She currently writes from Brooklyn, and if you're anything like us and love amazing book recommendations or need to fill your tank with adorable puppy pics, we suggest you follow her Insta, and of course, to learn more about her work, check her out at ShayneTerry.com. Featured on OK Donkey magazine, this is Bear by Shayne Terry. You think it could never happen to you, and then it does. You are attacked by a bear. It happens on vacation. You decide, what the heck? You've been talking about Yosemite all these years. You pack your sleeping bag, your work boots. They'll do on a hike. You load up the wagon and make the drive. It's long, and the AC craps out. But you're seeing a goddamn national park. People lived in the heat for so long. People lived. The price to camp in this park is extortion. You pull into the Jolly Cone in Bridgeport and order a malt. Tomorrow, you'll leave the wagon and walk. Tonight, you'll sleep in the back seat. You've slept in your car before. So little in this world comes free. At dusk, you have to piss. So you cross the field in the dim pink, almost night to get to a gas station. The whole world smells like rock and diesel. An old man loiters at the nearest pump. You are an old man, an older man, a man with a chicken gizzard.
Sorry. I knew you were going to do so good. I did not want to interrupt. You were killing it.
Okay. Ew. You aren't afraid of old men. The bathroom is locked. Need a key? The old man calls. He puts a hand on his invisible truck. You are gearing up to go inside when you feel a shadow from behind, like a plane overhead, and you find yourself in the grip of a bear. Yosemite is not like in the South, so I don't know why I'm giving everyone a Southern accent. It begins as a bear hug, but he gets you on the ground quick. His fur is wet and thick like a pelt of moss. He has been rolling in sweet grass. You expect a beating, to be paddled around. But the bear drapes himself across you and lies there, heaving into your ear, your right cheek flat against the gravel. You spot the Velcro sneakers of the old man. Help! You call. You would scream, but your ribcage is compressed by the bear. Help me! You haven't heard your own voice in months, and it sounds weak, even considering the circumstances. You always hoped you'd be able to muster strength in a dire situation. A pair of snakeskin sandals emerges from the gas station. Would you look at that? A woman says. Tell me about it, the old man says. He's playing nice, the woman says. Then she calls, Good bear, good boy, good bear. Upon hearing these encouraging words, the bear nuzzles into you. His weight chokes your breath. Help, you try to say again, but nothing comes out. It seems the bear wants to bore a hole in your back with his chest. He rolls across you and moans, plants his snout in your hair, and sniffs. You've been driving all day in the heat. You don't smell pretty, but the bear seems to like it. Maybe your pheromones speak bear. Maybe somewhere way back in your ancestry, there's a bear enchantress. With your one unpinned arm, you wave at the sneakers and the sandals. You mean to express that you are frantic, but they interpret your wave as fun and games. Yes, hello, the woman says. You've met our friend. He looks smitten. He doesn't encounter too many strangers. Sure doesn't. The bear places his paw over your hand. You are submerged, swimming in his musk. The pad of his palm is soft like old loved leather. You think of Virginia, who always wanted to see the West, but never made it past the Mississippi. It never seemed like a good time to pick up and go. Still isn't, apparently. Here you are, trapped under a bear. Better than other kinds of being trapped, she might say. At least, You can feel the life in this thing. Feel it when the bear breathes in, a temporary release of the crush of your spine. Feel it when the bear breathes out, a heaviness that threatens to sink you into the ground. You try to match your breathing to the bear's, but he has astounding lung capacity. You shouldn't have smoked all those years. A pair of boots arrives, kicking up the gravel. Sheriff? Sir? Ma'am? Sheriff? What do we have here? The boots circle you and the bear, exiting and re-entering your line of sight. Looks like he's nodding off. And indeed, the bear grows heavier. He lets his cheek rest on the side of your face. A fly that formerly buzzed around his ear takes up residence on your brow as your temple is pressed into a rock like a crushed flower. You blink the fly away. The pink of the sunset gives way to the yellow light of the gas station and the dark beyond. You will not be saved. Good bear, says the sheriff, and then to the sneakers and the sandals. I've been trying to teach him to be gentler. The bear stirs briefly on the brink of sleep, then relaxes his full weight into you. You try to live on a little less air. The boots approach you under the slumbering bear, stop a few feet short of your face. They're scuffed with a silver heel. The sheriff crouches and peers at you. His face is lined like yours. He has had to make hard choices, like you have. He has half-trained a bear. Passing through, you blink twice. You know you're pretty close to Yosemite. You make it there yet? You blink once. Too bad, the sheriff says. It's beautiful out there. Art of the short, art of the short.
A scoop, scoop, scooby, and a scoobity bobbity bow.
That's a lot.
A scoobity bow bow. Wow. Performance of a lifetime, just like you performing Bear. I wish you could have seen your mouth, the shape that your mouth made to pronounce bear in that way. Bear. People should pay for this footage.
You know, my armpits are so sweaty right now.
Yeah, I can only imagine a full body sweat. Jori had her brow furrowed, a deep furrow to get into character. And I am grateful for it. That was incredible. You saying chicken gizzard is something
Chicken gizzard.
that I will cherish.
Chicken
A man
gizzard.
with a chicken gizzard. You really enunciated it. Incredibile. Is it time to look at our art, or like, what do we do? What do we do here?
We're gonna look at our art, and you know what?
Okay.
I think you should go first since you accidentally got a little sneak peek.
Jori. There's a reflection. There's something in the reflection.
Yeah.
She has illustrated a Tommy Lee Jones looking MFer.
Tommy Lee Jones MFer.
Wearing a sheriff's hat with a sheriff's badge star and the classic aviators.
Yep.
With like a beautiful California background with like the rocks and a sunset and the trees, everything iconic you'd expect. And you can see his eyes through the sunglasses, but then in the reflection of the aviators, you can see the bear.
The ba.
I was trying to say
The
bear
ba.
paw. The bear paw.
The bear paw.
The ba. The bear paw holding down the man's arm, and then you can see a pair of sneakers.
The Velcro sneakers.
Or Velcro. Velcro sneakers. Yes, I just realized they're Velcro. and a pair of painted toes and flip-flops.
They are supposed to be snakeskin, but it's so small that, like, you lose the detail.
Wow, the details of that bear on such a small area, Jori.
I spent a lot of time on the bear. I admittedly don't know how to do reflection, so this was like my first attempt, and no one judged me on that part. It was the effort that counts. Guess who's looking at your art now? And I'm so excited because I didn't look at it beforehand.
I'm so sorry. I don't know why my hand little fingers were
You
quick trigger fingies.
were fucking right when you said merch alert.
Merch alert, merch alert.
Merch alert. I could totally see someone in like Portland like sporting like a bear tattoo.
Tell them what you're saying.
Okay, I'm so sorry. So I'm looking at this beautiful, I mean, it looks like pen on paper, which is really hard to do because everything is perfect. Everything is like perfectly rendered.
Sure,
I mean, I'm guessing it's Yosemite. It's a sunset and you see like the rock cliffs that you would see in Yosemite. And then there's a bear coming from the left and it says half trained bear.
Well, it was inspired by like national parks, like
Yeah.
old school kind of like touristy.
Yeah.
Like souvenir. It's very like souvenirs.
On the bottom says established in 2018.
Which is when the story was written. Shayne Terry. Half trained bear. Half trained bear. It's so good. Yeah. So as I was like trying to think of what to do, I was like, bear art, bear art, bear art, bear art. You know, I was waiting for inspiration to strike.
And it did.
Yeah, I started seeing like national park, like the WPA style, like lithograph looking.
Yeah.
I love that art.
Yeah.
And then I started looking at like actual souvenirs and like old timey like 80s and 90s
Yes.
font on like mugs.
Yeah, this would be super cool on like a white t-shirt.
Cute.
Or like a white on black.
Well, it looks like an outdoor brand.
Totally.
Like you could have it at REI. You could have it at Columbia.
This is what I'm saying. It looks like everyone we know in the Northwest would be wearing this t-shirt.
Yeah. Half trained bear.
But you know what this story reminded me of?
What?
Well, first of all, I was like, who trains a bear? Who trains a motherfucking bear? Just like on their free time. This was alarming to me. Yosemite is relatively close to where we dwell ourselves.
We on the West Coast, yeah.
We on the West Coast. It reminded me of this documentary that I saw, and I'm so sorry I don't remember the name.
Mm-hmm.
One of the documentarians was just like asking random people at like gas stations these questions, and someone went up to him and was like, "Hey, you guys need to be careful. People just disappear around here and everyone looks the other way.
Oh.
You need to be really careful about who you talk to." Like, I think we've talked about this before. I'm in Washington, Bethany's in Oregon, and in Washington, I'll speak for myself. If you drive 20 minutes outside the city, all of a sudden you'll see like Confederate flags popping up, and you'll see like,
oh my God,
certain political signs that are maybe something that you're not used to seeing, and like you get a real sense and vibe that you do not belong in this place.
Mm-hmm.
There's a bit of a scary vibe and you can feel it.
Oh, sure.
And that's what the story reminded me
Well,
of.
it's definitely a cautionary tale.
If you're a traveler from afar, keep with your pack. Always have a buddy who trains a bear. Who trains a bear? And then all the looker-oners are just like, oh, isn't that cute? That man just died and we don't care.
It's definitely a cautionary tale. I actually think of it as like straight fact. Like,
Yep.
I didn't question it for a second when I read it. I was like, yeah, absolutely.
That happened.
Absolutely, that could happen.
Again, maybe this
Yeah.
is just like West Coast Pacific Northwest. Like, we're really familiar with that kind of story.
That's true. Yeah, we talk about bear safety. We have bear mace.
Yeah, bear safety. Bears. We talk about bear safety. And
we
it's
do.
true.
Well, do
It's
we or do we
true.
not?
No,
We do.
It sounds like I'm joking, but it's kind of
No,
been a
it's
part
not a
of like our
joke.
life. Like you,
Yes, of course.
you know about
If
the
you grew up
bears.
camping and you're a child, you're going to get a bear talk.
Why is it making me laugh? Okay, I'm sorry.
I just knew this was going to be a hoot.
Yeah, so entertaining.
I cast Jori in the role of reader, and I have no regrets. I have no regrets.
Shayne.
Loved.
it. So entertaining.
Unexpected.
Yes.
Shayne, thank you so much. On the next episode of Art of the Short, Lil Shorty, we'll be reading This Is How You Failed to Ghost Him by Victoria McCurdy. As always, a free link to this short story is in our show notes for you.
I just feel like we're both trying not to speak it with a slight southern accent after I just read that. I know I am. Join the conversation and send us your artwork. And to learn how, go to artoftheshort.com. And follow the installation on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Art of the Short. Bethany, as always, I adore you, I love you, and thank you for spending this time with me.
Okay, I love you. Bye. Little shorty month, little shorty month, little, little shorty month, little shorty month. Little short a month. Yeah, that's pretty good.